One of the biggest mistakes that I see swimmers make time and time again is swimming too fast in warm-up. This is absolutely destroying your overall performance and it's making you swim slower. In this video, I want to break down 5 of the biggest bad habits that are hurting your swimming performance, and at the end of the video, I'm actually going to share a bonus bad habit, and these are all things that we need to address if we want to improve our swimming and make progress towards our performance and fitness goals. So I already mentioned it, but the first one is swimming too fast in warm-up. Remember, you have to pace yourself. So I'm not only going to break down the bad habit, but also the solution on how you can address and solve this bad habit. Now, I've been there before. You dive in, the water's freezing, and you go as fast as you can the first 25 or 50 meters of swimming. Heck, if the water's really cold, you might go the first 500 meters, and you're just swimming too fast. And if you look at your average pace in the first part of the workout, the middle of the workout, and the second half of the workout, you've probably gotten slower. And that's the opposite of what you actually want to do to get the most out of the workout. You need to be calm and controlled when you enter the water. I know it's really exciting to work your underwaters. You feel fresh, you dive in the water and you swim really fast. You have so much excitement for what you're about to do, but you have to control yourself. So take a deep breath, calm down, and pace yourself through the entire workout. Now, this can also be true as a bad habit when you're going through the actual sets. So oftentimes, myself included, you might get really excited during a set and you end up swimming faster at the beginning of that main set than you do at the end. And you want to get in a habit of building and negative splitting all of your different events. So here's an example. Let's say you have to do 8 100s freestyle as your main set. Try and go faster on each of the hundreds. So let's say you're doing 8 100s freestyle on the 2-minute. On the first one, you go a 130, then you go a 129, then a 129, 128, 128, 127. You get the idea. What you don't want to do is you don't want to actually get slower. Another way you can focus on building your actual sets is, let's say you're doing a 500 freestyle. Think about negative splitting, so that way you're faster on the second half than you are on the first. So you're going to build the entire 500, so that way you're finishing strong with great technique. Now, the problem is if you don't do that and you actually swim too fast in the warm-up, you're going to deplete your energy and you're going to feel terrible the rest of your workout. You also want to finish the workout feeling your best, because that's how you're going to start the next workout. So rather than swimming as fast as you can, or what seems to be easy speed in the beginning of the workout, take a deep breath, calm down, pace yourself, and focus on building and negative splitting all of your swims and your workouts. Now, the second bad habit that I see swimmers make all the time is having lazy walls and lazy turns. You got to remember, the water is 800 times more dense than air. So every time you swim through the water, you're combating this incredible resistance, and it's really, really slow. The fastest you move in swimming is when you push off the wall. The second only to when you dive in the water. So because you're not diving in for most sets, you're probably going to push off the wall. And if you're not pushing off the wall in a good streamline, and even when you do a flip turn, whether you do a somersault or you grab the wall and turn around, that's an opportunity to maximize your speed. And a bad habit is getting lazy in and out of the walls. You really want to train your body and your mind to not treat the wall like a rest period. This is why there's such a big difference between swimming in a 25-meter pool and a 50-meter pool. You go much faster in the shorter pool because you can use the wall to push off. So you don't want to train your body to get lazy during this period of time that you should really be focusing on maximizing so you get the most off the wall, and you don't want to train your body if you go to long course or open water that you have those gaps. I mean, think about it. Let's say you're training in a pool, you have really lazy turns, and then you go open water. There's no turns, there's no way for you to stop, so don't train your body to have that lazy routine. And remember, take advantage of the fastest part of the pool, and that is your streamline. Now, the third bad habit that I see is overuse of equipment. I know it's tempting. The fins make you swim so much faster, but don't grab them and put them on before you even get in the water. Now, there is a pro and a lot of benefits to using equipment, whether it's fins, paddles, snorkel, but overusing them can actually hinder hinder your swimming performance, and it can make you susceptible to injury. Now, by all means, if you feel comfortable wearing fins the entire workout or using paddles, whatever, as long as you get in the pool and you keep moving, that's okay. But if you're really looking for performance, if you want to take your swimming to the next level, you have to moderate how much equipment you're actually using. I like to think about the 50% rule. Now, this states that over the course of a workout or a series of workouts, you'll do less than 50% of the workout with equipment. So for example, let's say you have a workout that's 5,000 meters. If you swim more than 2,500 meters with fins or paddles or any of that stuff, that's probably too much. Now, there are exceptions to this rule, and it is more flexible than you might think, because you could think about this over the course of a week or multiple workouts. So over the course of a week, you swim 30,000 meters, and maybe 10,000 of that is with paddles and a buoy. Now, you might have all of that or most of that concentrated in just one or two workouts. So you might actually swim 50, 60, 70, 80% of a workout with equipment, but the next day you're not going to have any equipment or a lot less equipment. Now, I will say if you're training with a snorkel or other types of specific equipment, you actually want to use those a lot to get the aerobic and hypoxic benefits of training with those specific pieces of equipment. But for most people, and for you watching this video, too much of a good thing can actually be a bad thing. So make sure you limit your exposure to equipment and really think about the 50% rule. I also like to build into the equipment. So what that means is you actually start the workout or a set with little to no equipment, and as you go through the workout and as you warm up your body, you start to incorporate and layer in more and more equipment. So for example, let's say you're gonna do a set of 650s freestyle, and you're gonna do that 3 rounds through. On the first round, you're not gonna use any equipment. All natural, swim the 650s freestyle. On the second round, you're gonna incorporate your fins or your paddles. And then on the third round, you're gonna add another piece of equipment. So if on round number 2, you added your fins, now you're gonna add your paddles. So you're swimming with fins and paddles, 650s. If you notice, over the course of that workout, you're actually starting to layer the equipment and layer in the resistance, and you can still do that kind of a workout and follow the 50% rule. So remember, too much of a good thing can actually be a bad thing, but do whatever's comfortable for you and find a routine that you can incorporate that 50% rule but not overuse your equipment. The fourth bad habit actually incorporates a few different swimming etiquette mistakes that I see swimmers making. So I could probably make an entire video just on these concepts, but I wanted to bundle them together to give you guys as much value as possible. So the first poor swimming etiquette that I see is pulling on the lane line. This can be done in any stroke, but most of the time you see this in backstroke. I know it's tempting. You want to realign yourself in the lane. Maybe you hit the lane marker. Maybe you're trying to go a little bit faster while coach isn't watching. You're trying to pass someone or make an interval. Don't fall into the bad habit of pulling on the lane line. I've seen it time and time again. I've done it myself. And the reality is it's not actually benefiting you in the long run. Sure, you might get an initial boost and it feels really cool, or you feel sneaky to grab that lane line, but don't do it. It's not really helping you. Swim the stroke as it's intended and don't disrupt your stroke mechanics. Now, another bad habit I see is not finishing into the wall. This might be the biggest mistake that I see swimmers make of all levels. Just because you can stand in the water where you finish at the wall doesn't give you permission to just stop swimming a few meters away from the finish. I've seen this so many times where swimmers are finishing a set, and as a coach, I'm on the pool deck watching this, and the swimmer will just stop a full meter or 2 meters before the end of the pool and just stand up. The same can be said when you start a set. Just because you can stand and you can get your upper body above the water and you can breathe before you push off the wall doesn't mean you walk into the start and you just push off the bottom. You remember, you got to start and finish every single set and every workout from the wall. Train your body to maximize that initial part. Don't be lazy and make sure you hit the wall and push off in streamline. Another bad habit that I see is lifting the head into the finish. This isn't quite as bad as literally stopping moving and just standing wherever you are before the finish, but it's a bad habit that I see where you lift your head up, whether it's breaststroke or butterfly or freestyle or backstroke, turning onto your stomach or turning onto your side. If it's backstroke, finish on your back, start on your back. If it's breaststroke, make sure you finish finish with full extension with 2 hands. If you're doing freestyle, don't lift your head up and look for the wall. Turn your head to the side and really extend into the finish. Even if you're not doing a race, it's important to practice these skills so that way you can really compound that over time. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. Now, the final bad habit that I see in this grouping is breathing off the walls. Now, this goes back to the lazy walls concept, but really you want to make sure you're pushing off the wall in a good streamline. You're not taking a breath because you don't need it. You just pushed off the wall. And that's where you're swimming the fastest. So a big mistake that a lot of swimmers make is breathing off the wall or breathing into the wall. Now, you can swim really fast into the wall and still be lazy and take a breath. And you can still go pretty fast, but it's a bad habit. Don't do it. Don't lift your head up and don't turn your head and breathe on the first stroke off the wall. Now, the 5th bad habit that I see is not being consistent. It's so important to stick to a plan because that's where the improvement is really going to show its results. If you focus on swimming every single day with intent, with focus, with passion, you will see improvements over time. But if you're not consistent, if you get lazy, if you decide, you know what, today I got a lot of things to do, I'm not going to go to the pool. You know what, I have a lot of homework, I have a lot of studies, I have a lot of obligations. If you don't prioritize your swimming, then you're never going to see the improvement or maximize and realize your full potential. So it's so important to have a consistent training program, stick with a plan, because these small improvements will compound over time. And if you don't have a training program, that's why I created the MySwimPro app. It delivers a personalized swim training program at a fraction of the cost of hiring a personal coach. You can get a training program specific to your goals and skill level. So whether you're training for a triathlon, you want to enhance your speed, or you're trying to lose weight, whatever your goal, whatever your skill level, you can get a personalized program right there on your phone, sync it to your Apple Watch or Garmin, and you can get going right there. It's absolutely amazing. So make sure you check it out for iPhone and Android, link down below. So make sure you start small, set smart goals so that you can be consistent. And if you're interested, I did a full video on how to set smart goals, specifically around swimming. Now, SMART is just an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And if you're not setting goals that are in that fashion, you're not really setting yourself up for success. Now, I did mention I have a bonus for you guys, and that is the bad habit of swimming slow. I know it sounds ridiculous, but yes, it is a bad habit to swim slow. You can actually train your body and train your mind to swim slow, and if you go to a competition or if you try to swim faster, you're just not going to be able to do it because you trained your body to swim at a slower pace. So it is actually true that you can train your body to swim faster, and if you want to swim faster, you have to train faster. So that's why it's so important that you focus on training at a certain speed, velocity, and intensity, and that's why training with the MySwimPro app is absolutely amazing because we have different effort levels assigned to every single set. So whether you're supposed to swim at race pace, endurance threshold, or easy, we control that and we inform you how you should actually apply your training so that way you get the most out of it. Because the worst thing that you can do is train slow. We don't want you swimming slow. If you want to swim faster, you have to train fast. And that's why it's so important to break the bad habit of swimming slow, because you want to train your body to swim fast. Don't be lazy. If you enjoyed this video, I know you're absolutely going to love the 5 biggest breathing mistakes that swimmers make. Happy swimming.